Commerce Solutions from JP Morgan Payments do more than you think. On one hand, customers get a flexible shopping experience, paying how they want with the security they expect. On the other, your business gets an end-to-end platform to manage and send payments while unlocking better customer insights. When you put those together, you get Commerce Solutions from JP Morgan Payments. So much more than a payments platform. It's revolutionizing the way you do business. Products and services of JP Morgan Chase & Co. and its affiliates are subject to applicable terms. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Live from multiple locations via the miracle of Skype, it's the LTN Hour. Let's talk NASCAR with your host, Todd Bailing. Co-host, Ed Kaluka. Featuring Dangerous Dan Margetta. And Brian Schmidt. LTN is a caller-driven program, and your participation is encouraged by calling 414-421-7901. That's 414-421-7901. Now, the creator and host of the fastest hour in radio, Todd Bailing.
Welcome to the program. We're getting ready for an all-star race tonight. Todd Bailing in Greendale, Wisconsin. Only two partners today. Ed Kaluka will not be joining us. He is under the weather. Ed, we're hoping everything turns out good for you. Dan Margetta of St. Francis, Wisconsin, is not in St. Francis today. He's in Waterford, taking Matt Losey's place, who's not with us today. So let's figure this out. Dan is not only co-host of the program, he's the producer of the program, and today he's the engineer of the program. How you doing, man?
Pretty good. We're going to fly the plane for an hour. Hope we don't crash it. We're going to land this, jump in a car, and drive to Slinger to do some TV work, camera work for the Speedway up there.
It's pretty ambitious work for a guy doing chemotherapy. So you just take care of yourself today, Dan. And Brian Schmidt of Oostburg, Wisconsin. Hi, Brian.
Good morning. Yeah, I'm still trying to get all the nitromethane out of my system.
Yeah.
Dan and I yesterday went to a drag race for the first time ever. Dan, I don't know if chemo. What's more toxic, chemotherapy or standing there when they fire up a top fuel engine?
I don't know. We stood back there, and I got a good whiff of that stuff. Made my eyes water. But hey, it cleared me out in a hurry. And I'm thinking, boy, this might do the trick. Instead of cuff 6 rounds of that, I should just stand behind this dragster for a while. Maybe be all done with it.
Yeah, I know. I had a sinus issue all week from the smoke in the air, and I stood by there, and holy cow, I've been clean since. That is some cool stuff. If you ever get a chance to check out an NHRA drag race, man, that's a whole nother level there.
You guys did a couple of one big road trip, or what? You were on the road this week, weren't you?
We were on the road mostly last week. We came back home, worked all week, and then we just drove down there yesterday. It was during the day down at Route 66. Kind of cool to be back there. I haven't been there since 2019 when the last time they ran a cup race there. Track's still there. Everything still looks the same. Grass is a little taller in some of the parking lots around the NASCAR track, but the drag strip was full. A lot of people there. Good turnout. First time they've been there since 19. So maybe Chicago will get something going again there in the future at the Oval too. Who knows?
Yeah, there you go. Let's let it sit for about 30 years, and then we'll get $18 million in taxpayer money and fix it up again and have a race there, which is what's happened today at North Wilkesboro, the All-Star race, which will pay, by the way, $1 million to win. It rolls off. Let's see. It will be televised on FS1. Coverage begins right here on the Big 920 and on the iHeartRadio app at 4 o'clock. The green flag for the Open, which will be drivers ineligible for the All-Star race. That's a 100-lapper, and the green flag falls for that at 4:38. The 200-lap feature will follow roughly 7 o'clock or shortly thereafter. If it's like yesterday's truck race, it might run a little long. My God, 12 cautions for 81 laps in a 250-lapper yesterday. Kyle Larson kicked everybody's ass. But how about Ty Majeski teaming up with Joe Shear to finish second? They took 2 tires on a brilliant move at the end of the race. Who would have thought you could go any time without tires? It's a very abrasive track. And really, gentlemen, it's as one lane as you can get. It's how low can you go, root people out of the way. The cone is going to be very interesting today, the cone rule, the lane choose, whatever the hell they call it, that little V they painted on the racetrack. because yesterday, for the first time, we saw guys lined up on the inside, and maybe, I don't know how far back it was, guys run up on the outside to see if they can make up some serious track position, and it worked. Dove in after they strung out just a little bit. I worry about the quality of the racing here. I'm got my fingers crossed that the event itself is just spectacular. I think we can all agree on that. Coming back to a track where, the last time they raced was 1996. Ted Musgrave was the last pole sitter ever at a cup race here. And think about that for a second. There are two guys racing here that weren't even born. Cindric and Willie Byron weren't even born in 1996, and they're racing here today. So it's a pretty cool event all the way around. And I don't know, guys, how much of you have seen, but they really did a nice job putting this track back together, minus the paved job. It's pretty nice.
Oh, it's spectacular. I mean, it's the way the pits were set up, the new pit road and all that kind of stuff. I mean, the way the new grandstands on the backstretch side, they have some of the hospitality things there. The lighting is incredible. If you saw the light show that they had the other day, those are the same type of lights they put up at Knoxville this year too, where you can do all the different patterns with it and everything. I think it was after the ASA race. I think I saw the flashing on there. But no, they did an outstanding job with it. And, we'll see what the racing, how it plays out. Yesterday, with the weather, we didn't really get to see what kind of racing you're going to get, and you only had 10 cars on the track at a time. You're not going to have, I think 24 is what they're going to start today for the All-Star race, so you're not going to have a huge field of cars like we had during the late model stuff over the week to really get a good gauge of what radial tire cars can do on a track like that. So I think the jury is going to be out on what kind of racing we're going to have.
Yeah, good point. And, Dale Earnhardt Jr., pretty much when he speaks, the entire stock car racing world listens. He recommended that they leave the original surface that hasn't been raced on for all those years. They patched it up. They had to. There were trees growing out of the track, but they, ground the stumps and patched it up, and it's a very abrasive track. And, the whole point is to make tires part of the strategy. Great idea. But after watching some of the racing there this week, and Earnhardt was part of the racing. He was in one of his own series. Which one was that? A late model stock race, Dan?
The cars.
Yeah.
Late model stock.
That's it, yeah. He raced in it. And after watching that terrible truck race yesterday with 12 cautions, he said if NASCAR wants to maybe make this a part of the Cup schedule in the future, it would be better if you repaved the track. Well, great idea. As you know, you can put an aggregate in there that is much more abrasive, Brian. I think if they do anything and repave it, that would probably be the way to go, right?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think we got to run a little bit here. We got to get some more rubber on the track. It's really hard to judge right now because you have that new strip of asphalt way down on the bottom, and that's where they're all going. It's almost like a dirt racer going looking for the moisture at the very bottom. So I think that has a little bit to do with why the cars are so low also, because when they put the pit wall in, if you see it on the TV, you'll see that darker black strip down there. They're searching for that grip down there. And that also, I think, is pushing towards the one groove racing that you're seeing there. So maybe when that wears out after a year, I kind of like them to leave it for a little while just to see what's going to happen going forward. Kind of nice. They can't, like yesterday when it was raining, they couldn't even put the jet dryer out there because they're afraid the jet dryer would blow the track apart. So they put the rain tires on and the racing was fine. So
yeah, how about that? They're actually going to have that as an option in the event it rains. I don't think the forecast calls for rain today, but it's kind of neat that they actually use those rain tires. It's an exhibition race anyway. Why not?
Wet weather tires, I guess, because they don't race actually in the rain. It was just when it was wet out. They want to make sure we say that because rain racing didn't work the other year at COTA.
No, it certainly didn't, but it rained a little harder than it did yesterday. We're glad you're listening. We're going to take a break and be right back.
Buckle up, get ready, get Get set and get your tickets now as the NASCAR Xfinity Series returns to Wisconsin's Road America in Elkhart Lake, July 27th through the 29th. The smell of fresh rubber and food will fill the air for this weekend, along with the Porsche Carrera Cup for even more racing fun. An amazing, affordable weekend of family fun with camping, food, and more. Kids 16 and under get in free with paid adult. Come for the experience, stay for the race. Get your tickets today at roadamerica.com. Your national park of speed.
From racing engines to street engines, long blocks to turnkey packages, or complete custom engines, just ask and Wagner Automotive can fill your needs. All backed by many years of racing experience. These years of experience have provided reliability and performance that customers need to win races. Wagner's has been building championship-winning engines for top teams from NASCAR to short tracks in your backyard. This expertise has carried over to street engines they supply to top custom car builders. The Wagner Company, in the heart of Wisconsin, is outfitted with the state-of-the-art machinery necessary to design, manufacture, build, and test custom engines and their accessory parts. Dyno services are independently available for anyone needed to test their engine. Wagner's Company can also provide you or your company with production CNC machining or welding services. All your questions and requests are handled personally by Casey Wagner. Just give us a call at 920-394-3557 or visit our website at wagnerautomotive.com. Spring is in the air, and PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend has everything you need, with fresh mulch arriving daily, from premium hardwood mulch to hemlock and pine bark to Enviro mulch in red, gold, chocolate brown, and black colors. PMF also has a large variety of decorative stone and granite, as well as field stone, topsoil, and compost. For all your landscaping needs, visit PMF Landscape Supply, 5470 River Road in West Bend. Call 262-338-8800 or visit pmflandscape.com. Friends of racing for many years. PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend.
The NASCAR Cup Series.
Will he beat William Byron on the inside to his outside? That's Kyle Larson.
Makes its long-awaited return.
He's going to try to stay on the bottom, and they may have made contact.
To North Wilkesboro Speedway.
Whoa, Hamlin gets into Larson. Larson's in the fence. Hamlin will make the move. Larson will regroup. Denny Hamlin takes the lead.
It's the NASCAR All-Star Race.
Sunday afternoon. Coverage starts at 4 on the Big 920 and your iHeartRadio app.
And welcome back to the program. Glad you could join us at any time during this program. If you would like to comment on any of the things we're talking about, you can do so at 414-421-7901, and we'd love to hear from you. The last time they raced at North Wilkesboro, they ran bias ply tires. This is the first racing on radials. Brian, I saw something that I thought it's just an idea, but I saw, we have tried putting dirt on Bristol, and it's worked out pretty good. But of course, it's not a cheap or it's a time-consuming effort to keep putting dirt on and scraping it off and putting it back on and scraping it off. And there are those that think if NASCAR is going to make North Wilkesboro a permanent part of the schedule, it may be a good idea, rather than repave it, is to make this a dirt track. Now, I've seen a couple ideas on that both directions. What do you think?
I know that's something we talked about a couple years ago before they decided to redo the whole place. When you look at the width of it, I think it's going to be very narrow with the new safer barriers and everything they put up there, and the uniqueness of the track. It's an uphill, downhill type of track. It's flatter for the most part, so I think if you're to go dirt track racing on there, you're going to see, with the flatness, the cars not able to get a second groove going because you're going to throw so many crumbs across. Personally, I kind of side with Kyle Larson on it. We've done the dirt thing a couple times now. I think it's maybe time to move on for that for a little while, and let's focus on having a really good asphalt product on all our tracks and go that route. And I think we can do that at North Wilkesboro if we just give them some time and work through it. So I don't see them going that route there.
All right, that's interesting hearing that from a dirt guy. I mean, there are better. If you want to see a dirt race with late models, the dirt late models put on one hell of a show.
Exactly.
These cars are really not made for racing on dirt, and it shows. Interestingly, naturally, because so much good is coming, and there's such a great buzz out of the North Wilkesboro project that now people are saying, geez, maybe we ought to do this same thing at Rockingham and bring the racing back there. Think about this. We have used, like I mentioned, $18 million of taxpayer money to bring Wilkesboro back and put it back on the schedule, at least for a exhibition race. I'm sure there's going to be other racing, and I certainly hope that the trucks and the Xfinity series can make it a part of their schedule regularly. There's no reason why they shouldn't. Rockingham,
Outreach Community Health Centers is proud to provide accessible and affordable health care for the entire family, regardless of insurance status. They offer complete primary care for children and infants, immunizations including COVID-19 vaccinations, booster shots, on-site pharmacy, dental care, mental health and emotional support, and more. Further services include assistance with baby items such as clothing, formula, diapers, help with transportation, and locating housing and employment. For more information, visit ochc-milw.org.
With the Lucky Land Slots, you can get lucky just about anywhere.
This is your captain speaking. We've got clear runway and the weather's fine, but we're just going to circle up here a while and get lucky. No, nothing like that. It's just these cash prizes add up quick. So I suggest you sit back, keep your tray table upright, and start getting lucky.
Play for free at LuckyLandSlots.com. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
About this. The only thing they didn't do at North Wilkesboro is pave the place. At Rockingham, the only thing they did do is pave the place. All the rest of the infrastructure would have to be redone. But how many, here's a thought. I might be in the minority here. How many obscure, backwoods North Carolina racetracks does the schedule need? We have this one, which is a special, if they're actually going to bring it back, and something you might want to keep in mind. If you haven't noticed by now, racing has become a television event more than anything else. Yes, there's still a live audience. It's not always good. It's going to be great today, no doubt. Everybody wants to be there for this. In the long run, I wonder how it's going to affect, if this was on the schedule every year and you'd have to, be a part of it and want to see it, fly to the nearest metro center, which probably is Charlotte, rent a car, drive an hour and a half, whatever it is, to Wilkesboro, get a hotel that's going to be at least a half an hour away from there because everybody will be there. How long is this going to be the thing? Are we going to embrace it forever, or is it just going to end up being a television race like all the rest? Now, so a vote for this staying as a part of it is we don't have enough short tracks. Yes, there's a new one coming in California, allegedly. But, it would be pretty neat to have a regular new short track on the schedule. And I'm not sure it would be the worst thing to have this on the schedule. What do you guys think?
I think it, go ahead, Dan.
Yeah, no, I think it could be part of the schedule. I think it could be regularly too. I think it all depends on the experience. I don't think right now your big city experience, when you go to like a large city, even go to Chicago with a street race, you think, are you welcome there? Obviously not right now. They're having issues in the newspapers and stuff. Towns like Wilkesboro, when they had that racetrack there, that race was their huge. That was their Daytona. That was their big event of the season. And when every time the Cup Series rolled to town, the town went nuts for it. They had a pageant, they had parades, they had stuff. And if you went there as a fan from the outside, you kind of felt like you discovered something nobody else knew about. Hey, I found this little cool town in North Carolina's got a racetrack in it, and they race these major race car series here. Everybody's having a fun time, and it's kind of cool. I think maybe you need to get back to that a little bit. I saw a little bit of that yesterday at the drag race. We were in Chicago area in Joliet, but you walked in the pits and stuff, and it felt like it used to feel when you went to a cup race because you kind of felt like you belonged a little more, right, Brian?
Yeah, and I think I take a little bit from what I heard in Chase Elliott's press conference yesterday. More is less. The problem and the reason this stuff became oversaturated is because North Wilkesboro had 2 races, Martinsville had 2 races, Bristol had 2 races, Charlotte had 2 races, Rockingham had 2 races. So that's 10 races in that little area. Now you subtract that out and you only do it once a year, and you don't have 100,000 seats at these places anymore. I think Wilkesboro today, 35,000, 40,000 maybe. I think Rockingham right now, if you're going to go race there, they have like 25,000 seats. If you make it a tougher ticket and don't have as many seats, I think these events can be successful because a lot of the local people will go there, and you won't have these massive crowds showing up. And I think that's how you make those races successful. And the uniqueness of these two tracks, I think, is exactly what NASCAR needs on the schedule. I mean, Rockingham is extremely unique. Wilkesboro is unique. You need that. We had all those mile-and-a-half deals before, and yes, this car is racing good on a mile-and-a-half, but I think sooner or later we can get this car to race good on every track. So, yeah, I think there's room on the schedule for both of them. Only once a year, though. You don't have to go there twice, and I don't see that ever happening.
Right, they need to cut back to one per track and move it around a little bit. I guess it would end up being a television event anyway, and in the long term. And even if there wasn't, what is seating capacity? Either one of you know? I don't really know what they made this out to now.
I think it's like 35 or 40,000. I think is the max you're going to get in there, and that might even be high.
I don't think that's the case because. Phoenix is 40,000. So
right, but there's seats almost all the way around Wilkesboro now. You got the whole turn 1 and 2, and they put that new one on the backstretch going into 3.
Beautiful, isn't it?
Yes.
It is definitely an event. I think to make it cost effective, it really should go on the schedule, and I think perhaps. That you got to keep the right attitude. No, it probably won't sell out as it goes down the line, but being that it's a television event anyway.
Well, here's the official number. It's going to be a capacity of 25,000, and it says in 1996 North Wilkesboro holds 60,000. That's hard to believe, but yeah. Thank you, Google.
Yeah, no kidding. No, that's
25,000. Make it a tougher ticket. That's how you get more people to go there.
All right. This would be a good time to sneak away for a break. Once again, if you want to participate, 414-421-7901. Dan Margetta is at the controls, and he's taking us to a break right now. We'll be back.
As a growing manufacturing company, we needed security solutions. We chose Bonafide because of the services they offer, pricing, and trusted reputation. But it's their outstanding service and support that convinced us we made the right choice with Bonafide.
When businesses need security, they contact Bonafide Security Solutions. From locks and alarms to safes and surveillance, we do it all. We are Bonafide. We protect what you value. For your free security survey, call us today or visit bonafidesafe.com.
No racing at the Fair Park in Plymouth this week. Join us as we remember and honor our fallen heroes. Action resumes on Friday, June 2nd with the Dairyland Classic motorcycle races. Then on Saturday, June 3rd, the Tezos All-Star Circuit of Champions Sprint Cars return. $26,000 to win the Race Routine Foundation event. Joining them will be the stars of the IRA and our very own Plymouth Dirt Track Racing MSA Sprints. Pits open at 2, Grandstand 4:30, packing and hot laps at 5:30. We'll see you there.
Miller Sales and Service is the Midwest's #1 Bravo trailer dealer for customer service and satisfaction. Serving the area since 1939, Miller's is located on the corner of Highway 57 and K in Random Lake. As the Midwest's #1 Bravo trailer dealer, Miller's has all kinds of Bravo trailers from 8 feet to 48 feet in stock. They also have a selection of B&B utility and dump trailers, reliable and Chilton open aluminum and steel trailers. With over 50 pre-owned low-mileage cars, trucks, and SUVs, Miller's has just the vehicle you are looking for. Miller's also carries a full line of Alumacraft boats and Manitou pontoon boats, complete with Evinrude outboards. Why not buy from racers who know what racers want and need? With Miller's Sales and Service on the corner of Highway 57 and K in Random Lake. Call Jerry, Tom, or Brad Miller today at 920-994-4358. That's Miller's Sales and Service, 920-994-4358.
This week on NASCAR Live, Kevin Harvick joined the show.
To be on that NASCAR 75 greatest list is an honor, and I think when you look at that list, it's the who's who of NASCAR racing, and to be on there almost seems a little bit surreal, but I think going back through the years, I've been fortunate to have great teams and people and be able to have some success.
There's much more waiting for you each week on NASCAR Live.
Every Tuesday night at 6 on the Big 920 and your iHeartRadio app.
Getting ready for the $1 million to win All-Star race today. Coverage is at 4 o'clock. The green flag drops for the Open, which is first at 4:38. That's a 100-lapper. The feature will follow. It's a 200-lapper. I thought this was interesting that there's going to be 4 sets of tires. remember that during testing, what they figured out that over the course of a fresh set of tires until the car ran out of gas, it was like 3 seconds a lap fall off on these things. But get this, even though you get 4 sets of tires, in the last half of the race, you are only allowed 1 tire change. So you're going to have to be very careful what you do with that last set of tires. Is it, the strategy from the pits are going to be as important or more important as what is going on the racetrack. So besides, those tires are going to be very, very important. So fun to watch. Guys, I don't know if you saw this week. There is a pretty good rumor going around that the Xfinity Series right now for next year and beyond looks like it might be only available on a streaming platform. Right now they're saying it's going to be Amazon, which means if you are a customer of Amazon and you don't have Amazon Prime, you're going to probably want to get it if you want to see the Xfinity Series, because that comes along with your Prime membership. That's free shipping on Amazon items, but they do have their streaming service on Amazon. And wow, can you imagine an entire series available only on streaming? What's going on?
Yeah, I don't know about that. I mean, Xfinity Series already has issues sometimes with getting, good funding for a lot of those teams, and some of those teams are sorely underfunded. And now if you're going to take it and say you're only going to be on a streaming service, I mean, how are sponsors going to look at that? I don't know why they would consider something like that. I mean, I don't know if their ratings are so low on Saturdays, they figure, what the heck, we might as well just move it over. But I don't know if that's a healthy formula for the Xfinity Series. I don't know. What do you think, Dan? I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, eventually I can see it going there because that's kind of the way things are going on that streaming route. But to do it that quickly, I don't know if that's something that you can just jump into without letting the teams know that's coming up, because they got to sell that package. They're probably saying, hey, we're on FS1, which isn't broadcast TV, but we got some races on broadcast TV, and here's what we got. Now, if they say it's only all on streaming, I'm not sure that the sponsorship world realizes how big the streaming platform is, or has embraced it as much as everybody thinks it's getting that big. I mean, eventually it's going to get there, I think. I just don't know if you can just do it that quickly.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, the Thursday Night Football package,
yes,
I think I maybe watched part of one game all year simply because I didn't have the Amazon thing, and I believe it was the Packer game because they put it on our TV here because it was a local game. Other than that, I didn't see it at all because
I
have Amazon Prime, but I don't think about using it to watch TV. I use it to buy stuff.
Think about it, fellas. It's out there. It's in the long term. Baseball is experimenting with it. Matter of fact, wasn't a Brewer game about a week ago? The only place you could see it was Apple TV Plus or something. And you already know that Thursday night games, unless it's the local team, if you want to watch, it's streaming is, where it's we're dipping our toes in the water. But this is a little past dipping your toes if you're going to take an entire series and put it on a streaming service. Wow.
It's not like NFL has one game of the 15 of them they have on that weekend. You take every race from a series and do it. I know NBC's tried stuff like that with Peacock with the Indy cars. A lot of their feeder series are on just the Peacock network, and that's it. But I don't know if they have the kind of exposure the Xfinity Series has.
Yeah, we're going to find out. What an experiment. I hope they know what they're doing right now. It's out there. So now you guys know names a lot better than I know names. Which one of you recognizes the name, without having read it this week, Shane Van Gisbergen? Either one of you guys?
Never heard of him. Where does he 10 bar?
Yeah, and run for Congress? No, that's out east. Shane Van Gisbergen is from New Zealand. Does that help anybody?
He's a
supercar guy.
3-time supercar champion.
You know how you knew it?
That Australian supercar series is a kind of a big deal out there, right?
Yeah, we got the press release from Trackhouse that says they're going to drive their 91 car at Chicago. And I was on Twitter, and somebody said, "You never heard of Shane Van Gisbergen? Watch this clip. He's in the Red Bull car." And I watched it, and yeah, he's pretty good.
All right. It's only for Chicago. It is, like Dan said, the Project 91 car. That's where they have an extra car that they use for, well, I think they used it. Where'd they have it? They had it at the last road course they raced on, right? It was at Austin, Texas, I think.
Yes, correct.
Yeah. So, it's out there. Darian Grubb is going to be the crew chief on the thing, a veteran. And so, we'll see how that works out. Shane Van Gisbergen.
Hey, the last supercar guy to come around was Marcos Ambrose, and he was pretty successful for the while he was around here. So what the heck? Give it a shot.
Yeah, it was kind of odd, wasn't it? He hung out for a while. He worked his way into the Cup Series until he was a Cup winner on road courses, and then he abruptly gave it up and moved back to Australia. He just wanted to do this for a while, apparently.
He had that awesome win. I think it was a Monday race at Watkins Glen, where he punted, I forget who it was. He punted somebody out of the way and I think that was his first win. That was probably his claim to fame during his tenure.
Yeah, that was at Watkins Glen, if I remember right. Yeah, and then you have the other side of the coin is a guy like Casey Kane, who was a very successful Cup driver, and he's still only 43 years old. I say only because, in the big picture that isn't very old, but in racing, 43 is about the time they're talking about replacing you. If you'll remember, when he left the sport a couple of years ago, it's because he was having severe dehydration problems. He just couldn't go, these guys that run these long.
Outreach Community Health Centers is proud to provide accessible and affordable health care for the entire family, regardless of insurance status. They offer complete primary care for children and infants, immunizations including COVID-19 vaccinations, booster shots, on-site pharmacy, dental care, mental health and emotional support, and more. Further services include assistance with baby items such as clothing, formula, diapers, help with transportation, and locating housing and employment. For more information, visit ochc-milw.org.
Love your sleep all summer with 20% off mattresses, pillows, and sheets during Casper's Memorial Day sale. Kick summer night sweats out of bed with our new Snow Mattresses Snow technology, which combines our cool touch cover, heat delete bands, and phase change material to help you sleep 5 degrees cooler all night. Plus, complete your bedroom with 10% off sleep essentials. Don't snooze through these limited time savings. Shop our Memorial Day sale today at Casper.com or a sleep shop near you. Exclusions apply. See Casper.com/promo.
Long races need to really be in shape to do it, and he wasn't being able to do it. So now he's out for a couple of years. He's running a pretty aggressive schedule, I guess, with
World of Outlaws.
Yeah, Outlaws. But he's talking about, maybe I'd come back to NASCAR. It sounds like it's throwing some bait in the water and seeing if there's any bites. I cannot imagine. As good as Casey Kane was and probably still is at 43, is this somebody that, somebody would want to, take a gamble on and bring back? Really? I have my doubts. Let's put it that way. He was fun to watch. No doubt about that. We're glad you're tuned in. This is the Sunday right before the All-Star race, which will roll off this evening. And by the way, getting ready to race at Slinger Speedway this afternoon at 2 o'clock. A full day of racing, that's for sure. We'll be back right after these.
Get ready, get set, and get your tickets now as the NASCAR Xfinity Series returns to Wisconsin's Road America in Elkhart Lake, July 27th through the 29th. The smell of fresh rubber and food will fill the air for this weekend, along with the Porsche Carrera Cup for even more racing fun. An amazing, affordable weekend of family fun with camping, food, and more. Kids 16 and under get in free with 8 adults. Come for the experience, stay for the race. Get your tickets today at roadamerica.com. Your national park of speed.
As a growing manufacturing company, we needed security solutions. We chose Bonafide because of the services they offer, pricing, and trusted reputation. But it's their outstanding service and support that convinced us we made the right choice with Bonafide.
When businesses need security, they contact Bonafide Security Solutions. From locks and alarms to safes and surveillance, we do it all. We are Bonafide. We protect what you value. For your free security survey, call us today or visit bonafidesafe.com.
The NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series,
tightly bunched to the line they come, and the green flag is in the air,
is back at America's home for racing.
Trouble turn 2. Carson Hocevar gets turned by Raja Caruth.
For a rumble around Charlotte.
It's over. Christian Eckes, the checkered flag is out.
It's the North Carolina Education Lottery 200.
Friday night, coverage starts at 7 on the Big 920 and your iHeartRadio app.
Welcome back. Jump back into the program. Glad you could join us. A little different format for this All-Star race. They did qualifying by how fast your pit crew was. It's pretty interesting. The cars lined up and went in one at a time into the pits, and your guys jumped over and did a 4-tire stop. One guy had to have the fuel tank engaged the whole time, even though there was no fuel that was coming into the tank. It was all done already. If you didn't get the proper torque on that big ass lug nut in the middle there, you got a 5-second penalty. And of all people, Ty Gibbs and the 54 crew were the fastest in that what they called the Pit Crew Challenge. They got to share $100,000. Everybody else, second on back, got zero. So, and it surprised the hell out of some people that Ty Gibbs was able to look into camera and not read it off a piece of paper and thank and name every single guy on his pit crew and give him credit where credit was due. Very impressive young man. And how about that? The Gibbs gang did it. Now they went out and used that same format and the same times to set the fields for the 60-lap heat races, which were held last night. Daniel Suarez won one of them, and Chris Buescher won the other. And that's the way they start. The inside lane starts with Suarez, and Buescher in the second heat will start on the outside. Logano will start third, Dillon fourth, Chase Briscoe fifth, William Byron sixth, C. Bell will be seventh, Keselowski eighth, Hamlin ninth, and Bubba Wallace 10th. It's like they want to take some of the neat, different way of qualifying that comes from dirt track racing and apply it to Cup. Why not? This seems to be the place to do it, right, Brian?
Yeah, well, I think the main idea here was when they put this event up and the tickets sold so quickly for Sunday, they wanted to create a format where Cup cars were on the track Friday and Saturday also to sell those tickets. And I think it was successful. They had big crowds both Friday and Saturday. Friday, people got to see the 50-minute practice session for the Cup cars and this pit stop competition, which I listened to it on the radio while I was working on Friday night. And, I mean, the people were pretty boisterous, and they were getting into it, watching the different teams go out there and tackle it. Unfortunately for Brad Keselowski, I mean, he had a really good stop, but he had a 5-second penalty on him. Otherwise, he would have been right up there at the front. So, and then putting those qualifying races in yesterday made the ticket for yesterday more enticing also to get people in there. So I think it worked out pretty well.
Yeah, they got what they wanted. They even had a hauler parade. A buddy of ours is the hauler driver for Ty Gibbs' 54 team, and he posted some video of the hauler parade. It's not exactly like Las Vegas, okay? But there were people lined up on the side of the road, and like Brian said, there seems to be a buzz about this Wilkesboro experience overall. It's pretty cool.
And the coolest part is, I mean, Dan, correct me if I'm wrong, but watching those things, that was a lot of locals that came out there and supported it. And I think that's the big thing. You get the locals out there, those people grasping NASCAR, they lost it how many years ago, they're coming back out there and supporting it. Those people will always be there. And that's why I think this place can be successful going forward.
And it is. That's what that was. I mean, the 2-lane road to get there, that's what it was like. I mean, it's like a 2-lane moonshine road, you know, and when I went there, we thought it was cool driving these winding roads and thinking, boy, you know, they used to haul, you know, shine over these roads going 100 miles an hour getting chased. How do they not wreck, you know? But that's kind of the way it is going in there. It's small town, it's down home, and when you're there, and if the town is that excited about it, that kind of rubs off on you as you come in from an outsider. And like I said, you feel like you felt something that nobody else discovered before. You know, whoever heard of Wilkesboro before? But this is a cool town that we went to, and they had this great race.
imagine the legend of those roads and that neighborhood of the country back in the day running moonshine. And Junior Johnson was the legendary king of the runners. And keep in mind, Junior Johnson spent time in jail because he was a moonshine runner. I guess a little akin to before everybody started legalizing marijuana, guys sneaking around delivering marijuana behind people's backs. You know, people go to jail for stuff like that, or they did before. I don't even know if they're doing that anymore now that you can go to a grocery store and buy it damn near. But, they have embraced their past. They have made moonshine part of the whole experience here. In fact, this week they had a trophy that was a moonshine still that they gave to the winners of some of the races during the week here. Pretty cool. And boy, don't you wish you could have been around during those days when all of a sudden here comes some hot rod down the road with Johnny Law running behind it with the siren going.
Like an episode of the Dukes of Hazzard.
Yeah. Exactly. You get the feeling that that's pretty much what it was like back in those days. So, interestingly enough. All right. Hey, I can't believe this. The Truck Series came up with a pretty good thing. They've done it in the past. They're going to try it again. If one of the regulars from the Truck Series can win 3 races, now it's not easy to do. They don't give money away for things that are easy to do. It's hard to do. That's the whole point. If you can win the truck race in St. Louis, Charlotte, and Nashville, it's going to be good for a $500,000 bonus. That's pretty serious coin right there, and good for them. Now, if you are lucky enough to win 2 out of the 3, it's still good for $100,500. Not a bad payday for somebody.
That'd be a good time for Ty to start winning some races then. He's been so close this year. Might as well win Friday night at Charlotte and then go pick up the money at St. Louis the following week.
Wouldn't that be something? And, you talk about anybody that is capable of doing that, it just might be Ty Majeski. Wow. Talk about adding a little interest to the thing. That's pretty cool. By the way, any one of the 3 gets a $50,000 bonus. So that's kind of cool. I don't know how that's different from just winning a race. It's just part of what they pay out. So that's not the worst thing in the world. And, Kyle Busch. If you remember, it wasn't very long ago. We'll tell you about it in a bit. We're going to I think this would be a good time to sneak away for a break and talk about what Kyle's been up to. And we're going to come back with some results. Hang in there with us.
Get ready, get set, and get your tickets now as the NASCAR Xfinity Series returns to Wisconsin's Road America in Elkhart Lake, July 27th through the 29th. The smell of fresh rubber and food will fill the air for this weekend, along with the Porsche Carrera Cup for even more racing fun. An amazing, affordable weekend of family fun with camping, food, and more. Kids 16 and under get in free with paid adult. Come for the experience, stay for the race. Get your tickets today at roadamerica.com. Your national park of speed.
The NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series,
tightly bunched to the line they come, and the green flag is in the air,
is back at America's home for racing.
Trouble turn 2. Carson Hocevar gets turned by Raja Caruth
for a rumble around Charlotte.
It's over. Christian Eckes, the checkered flag is out.
It's the North Carolina Education Lottery 200.
Friday night, coverage starts at 7 on the Big 920 and your iHeartRadio app.
Miller Sales and Service is the Midwest's #1 Bravo trailer dealer for customer service and satisfaction. Serving the area since 1939, Miller's is located on the corner of Highway 57 and K in Random Lake. As the Midwest's #1 Bravo trailer dealer, Miller's has all kinds of Bravo trailers from 8 feet to 48 feet in stock. They also have a selection of B&B utility and dump trailers, reliable and Chilton open aluminum and steel trailers. With over 50 pre-owned low-mileage cars, trucks, and SUVs, Miller's has just the vehicle you are looking for. Miller's also carries a full line of Alumacraft boats and Manitou pontoon boats, complete with Evinrude outboards. Why not buy from racers who know what racers want and need? With Miller's Sales and Service on the corner of Highway 57 and K in Random Lake. Call Jerry, Tom, or Brad Miller today at 920-994-4358. That's Miller's Sales and Service, 920-994-4358.
No racing at the Fair Park in Plymouth this week. Join us as we remember and honor our fallen heroes. Action resumes on Friday, June 2nd with the Dairyland Classic motorcycle races. Then on Saturday, June 3rd, the Tezos All-Star Circuit of Champions Sprint Cars return. $26,000 to win the Race Routine Foundation event. Joining them will be the stars of the IRA and our very own Plymouth Dirt Track Racing MSA Sprints. Pits open at 2, Grandstand 4:30, packing and hot laps at 5:30. We'll see you there.
Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Here comes Alfredo. Wants the lead, and he's going to get it off 4.
The Alsco Uniforms 300.
Hill is on the bottom in turn 2. Following right in his tire track, Parker Kligerman. Couple of Chevys up front, leading the way. Brandon Jones on the bottom, Austin Hill to the top. Kligerman goes around as Austin Hill wins this race.
Kick off your Memorial Day weekend with the Alsco Uniforms 300. Saturday, coverage starts at 11:30 a.m. on the Big 920 and your iHeartRadio app.
Now the LTN Hour presents Dirt on the Dirt with Brian Schmidt.
Yes, we had a beautiful week of weather across the country this year and a full amount of results for this week. We'll start all the way back on Monday, Farmer City, Illinois, the race that Dan and I were at the Friday before that, made it up Monday for the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series, the Farmer City 74, $25,000 to win on a Monday night. Brandon Shepard picked up the win. Tuesday at Beaver Dam in the IMCA Modifieds, it was Jeff Schmoll. IMCA Stock Cars was Kenny Richards. Marshalltown, Iowa, Tuesday. Castrol Flow Racing Night in America, $23,023 to win in the Super Late Models. Hudson O'Neill picked up the win. The IMCA Modifieds were the undercard. Tom Berry Jr. won that. Also Tuesday night in Orrville, Ohio at the Wayne County Speedway, the High Limit Sprint Car Series was there. Kyle Larson took the win there. Wednesday night, Davenport, Iowa, the Castrol Flow Racing Night in America, another $23,023 to win. Dennis Erb Jr., his second Castrol win of the season already, early in May. So he's looking pretty good again this year. Picked up that on Wednesday night. Friday night, Chilton, Gravity Park Speedway in the Modifieds, it was Matt Klentz. The Grand Nationals was TJ Smith. Seymour, the Outagamie County Speedway in the IMCA Modifieds was Lucas Lambries. Stock Cars was Devin Snellenberger. Up in Superior, the snow finally all melted up there, and they got the season underway. Gondik Law Speedway, the Wissota Late Models was Kevin Burdick, and the Wissota Modifieds was Shane Sabrowski. Mississippi Thunder Speedway in the USRA Modifieds, Rodney Sanders was your winner, and the USRA Limited Late Models went to Ryan Olson. Menominee, the Red Cedars Speedway opened up their season. The Dirt Kings Late Model Series was there, $3,000 to win. A.J. Diemel got the win. In the Wissota Modifieds, it was Shane Halapka. Down at Kankakee, Illinois, the Mars Dirt Car Series, the Big Daddy Scrap 40. That's a pretty cool name for a race. $5,000 to win in the UMP Late Models. Jason Fager won that. Out in Dundee, New York, the Outlaw Speedway for the All-Star Circuit of Champions Sprint Cars, Zeb Wise got the win. Scotty Thiel was there. He finished 12th. Attica, Ohio, the World of Outlaw, NOS.
Outreach Community Health Centers is proud to provide accessible and affordable health care for the entire family, regardless of insurance status. They offer complete primary care for children and infants, immunizations including COVID-19 vaccinations, booster shots, on-site pharmacy, dental care, mental health and emotional support, and more. Further services include assistance with baby items such as clothing, formula, diapers, help with transportation, and locating housing and employment. For more information, visit ochc-milw.org.
Energy Drink Sprint Car Series, Donnie Schatz got the win. Marion Center, Pennsylvania, for the World of Outlaw Case Construction Late Models, $10,000 to win. Ryan Gustin got the win. Over in Farley, Iowa, the 300 Raceway for the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series, Ricky Thornton Jr., was living in Iowa for a while, so he kind of calls himself an Iowa native. He picked up the win there. Last night out at Plymouth, the IRA Sprint Cars were there. Jordan Gouldsberry picked up the win. In the MSA 360 Sprints, it was Lance Fosbender, and the Badger Midgets, Jay Sparks got his first career win in the Midgets. Francis Crick last night at the 141 Speedway. Mike Mullen won in the Modifieds. The Stock Cars was Tyler Wilson, and the Grand Nationals was Nick Schumacher. Up at Shawano in the Late Models, Ron Berna got the win. The Modifieds went to Kevin Feck. Stock Cars was Travis Van Stratton. Down at Wilmot in the IRA Wingless Sprints, Ryan Zaliski was your winner, and the Modifieds was Steve Miller. Ashland, the snow melted up there also, I guess. They opened up their season at the ABC Raceway. In the Wissota Modifieds, Brandon Kopp got the win. Rice Lake in the Wissota Modifieds, Kevin Buzzy Adams got the win. You think he wins there all the time. Cedar Lake Speedway opened up their season in the late models. James Giassi got the win. The USRA Limited Late Models went to Lance Hofer, and the Modifieds was Adam Hensel. Charleston, Illinois, the Mars Dirt Car Series 5,000 win. Ryan Unsicker got the win. Hartford, Ohio, the Sharon Speedway for the World of Outlaw NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Series. Donnie Schatz made it 2 in a row. Don't look now. It's been a while since Donnie Schatz has been that solid, but he's now won 2 in a row. Maybe he's going to have one of those years again. And finally, West Burlington, Iowa, at the 34 Raceway for the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series. Ricky Thornton Jr. capped off a perfect weekend, winning both Lucas Oil races this weekend. And that is everything I have. A full week of racing. Nice to see that finally.
You bet. Thornton, by the way, lives in Indiana now, I'm pretty sure.
Now he does, yeah. He was in Iowa for a while. He kind of said he was kind of a native when he won one of those races.
And Brian, didn't something happen?
He's an Arizona guy, too. Don't kid yourself.
Didn't he win that race, and then the souvenir trailer flipped over, right?
Yeah, Friday night he had an unfortunate incident. I guess they won the race, and they left, and they have their souvenir trailer towed behind their motorhome that Ricky drives. I don't know if Ricky was driving or not. He didn't admit to it, but he must have missed a corner in a ditch and flipped it over and wrecked his trailer. So T-shirts online. He's going to need some to pay for his new trailer.
There you go. Yeah, a sudden sale. In the world of asphalt, starting Tuesday, the ASA Stars National Tour was at North Wilkesboro. And how about the job Bubba Pollard did to hold off a couple of NASCAR guys and win it? It was pretty cool all the way around. And I was pretty happy for that guy. He's quite a personality and one hell of a race car driver. Nice job. Wednesday, it was the Cars Tour running at North Wilkesboro. Brendan Butterbean Queen was your winner. Carson Quapple was in that one. He finished 8th. And in the Pro Late Models, Augie Grill won that one, and Caden Quapple finished 8th. A couple of Quapple boys each finishing 8th. Thursday night at Kaukauna, it was Jeff Van Oudenhoven in the Super Late Models. Sorry about that. And Nate Van Wyken in the Late Models. Friday night, Golden Sands, Kendrick Cryer, the second-generation racer, was a winner in the Late Models. At Madison, ran the Big 8 Series. John Reynolds Jr. of Rockford, Illinois, won that one. In the Mid-American cars, it was Josh Nelms. At Thomas Sparta Speedway, they ran the modifieds on that paved track. Bill Schott was your winner. Last night at Dells Raceway Park, they ran the UMA Super Late Models. Brady Bill was the winner. At Jefferson in the Late Models, Jason Erickson trying to run the table on the season. 3 straight for Jason.
I think he's won 3 features, 3 heat races, every practice, every qualifying. I don't think he's lost anything yet there.
They don't miss Casey there, do they? At La Crosse on the NASCAR Late Models, Mike Carlson won his 2nd straight on opening day. At Rockford in the NASCAR Late Models, that's right, the Soup Nazi, Jake Vanoski, wins at Rockford. Nice job, man. At State Park Speedway, the Super Late Models ran, and Brock Heinrich was your winner. Midwest Truck Series ran up there, and James Lynch won in his 2nd straight race. And the Arca Menard Series East ran at Flat Rock, Michigan. William Sawalich won that one. Luke Fenhouse was in that one and finished 5th. As you know, the not season opener, that we've already had a season opener at Slinger, but we are racing today at 2:00 at the Slinger Super Speedway. It's Chicks for a Cause, the race against cancer, and Keith's Marina will bring you a full afternoon of action with the Super Late Models. Boy, all of a sudden, Super Late Models this week, Super Late Models next Sunday night. Today it's an afternoon. Next week it's at night with fireworks. If you don't believe it, next week is a holiday weekend already. So imagine that. Unbelievable. Got a little something extra for you from Slinger Speedway after we take a break. We'll be back right after these.
Get ready, get set, and get your tickets now as the NASCAR Xfinity Series returns to Wisconsin's Road America in Elkhart Lake, July 27th through the 29th. The smell of fresh rubber and food will fill the air for this weekend, along with the Porsche Carrera Cup for even more racing fun. An amazing, affordable weekend of family fun with camping, food, and more.
Kids 16 and under get in free with paid adult.
Come for the experience, stay for the race. Get your tickets today at
roadamerica.com.
your National Park of Speed.
Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Here comes Alfredo. Wants the lead, and he's going to get it off 4.
The Alsco Uniforms 300.
Hill is on the bottom in turn 2. Following right in his tire tracks, Parker Kligerman. Couple of Chevys up front, leading the way. Brandon Jones on the bottom, Austin Hill to the top.
Kligerman goes around as Austin Hill wins this race.
Kick off your Memorial Day weekend with the Alsco Uniforms 300. Saturday, coverage starts at 11:30 a.m. on the Big 920 and your iHeartRadio app.
From racing engines to street engines, long blocks to turnkey packages, or complete custom engines. Just ask and Wagner Automotive can fill your needs. All backed by many years of racing experience. These years of experience have provided reliability and performance that customers need to win races. Wagner's has been building championship winning engines for top teams from NASCAR to short tracks in your backyard. This expertise has carried over to street engines they supply to top custom car builders. The Wagner Company, in the heart of Wisconsin, is outfitted with the state-of-the-art machinery necessary to design, manufacture, build, and test custom engines and their accessory parts. Dyno services are independently available for anyone needed to test their engine. Wagner's Company can also provide you or your company with production CNC machining or welding services. All your questions and requests are handled personally by Casey Wagner. Just give us a call at 920-394-3557 or visit our website at WagnerAutomotive.com.
The NASCAR Cup Series.
Willie B. William Byron on the inside to his outside. That's Kyle Larson.
Makes its long-awaited return.
He's going to try to stay on the bottom, and they may have made contact.
To North Wilkesboro Speedway.
Whoa, Hamlin gets into Larson. Larson's in the fence. Hamlin will make the move. Larson will regroup. Denny Hamlin takes the lead.
It's the NASCAR All-Star Race.
Sunday afternoon. Coverage starts at 4 on the Big 920 and your iHeartRadio app.
Back to LTN. So if you didn't hear this week, it had been announced earlier that the Slinger Nationals was on the ASA Stars schedule for this year, even though when ASA came to Todd Thielen and asked if they could put that on the schedule, pretty much they knew they were going to have to come to some sort of compromise on engines, and it just didn't happen. We can't have two different sets of rules, I guess, and so they just dropped the ASA series from being the sanctioning body for the Slinger Nationals. It's not like Slinger Nationals haven't been there for 40 years and it's doing fine without a sanction. But the news really is that Matt Kenseth has agreed to race at Slinger Speedway this year again. So, and who always puts on one hell of a show when he races at Slinger Speedway. In the meantime, the ASA Stars race had the date from the calendar has come off of Slinger and moved over to the Milwaukee Mile on Father's Day weekend. That is going to be it was always a ASA event, right? It was the Midwest Tour, but now it is a combined Midwest Tour and Stars Tour race event, right?
Yes, yeah, that's a full weekend. Let's just put it that way. I mean, You want to talk about touring series in the state of Wisconsin. The World of Outlaws are going to be here. The IndyCar race is up in Milwaukee, and now you're going to bring that here. I mean, we need to clone ourselves so we can be in three different places at the same time.
IndyCar's up at Elkhart Lake.
Elkhart Lake, yeah.
Right, IndyCar up at Elkhart Lake, yep.
Oh, yeah, and Father's Day at the Milwaukee Mile. It's kind of a shame, we can go all summer with dates that seem to be out there, but everything is happening at the same time. So you're really going to have to pick which one you want to go to, unfortunately. But that's how things can be. Sometimes it's not easy putting these schedules together, for sure. I mentioned Kyle Busch before. He had been trying to secure himself. He wanted to do the Indy Charlotte double, and he gave up on it for next year. I don't know if he just didn't get any biters and nobody that was interested in giving him an Indy car. Do people just give drivers Indy cars because they're good in other series? I'm not sure that's exactly how it works. Is it, gentlemen?
No, you gotta put the whole thing together. You gotta find a competitive team, and they gotta have a car for you for one. I mean, I don't think there's tons of IndyCar chassis lying around to just give somebody. And they have to kind of put that together. If I took Kyle Larson a year to do it, he's not set till 2024. I think it takes a long time to put all that together, and you're going to have some contacts with some teams. I'm not sure what teams run Chevys anymore out there, Brian.
Oh, I'm not even sure. It's a mix of all sorts. I mean, McLaren is where Kyle Larson's going to run for, and I mean he got fitted for his seat 2 weeks ago, I think it was. And I think he's going to, for a year from now. And then he's going to start running some laps. I thought he said in October, hopefully do his rookie orientation in either September or October. So it's a long process. I mean, he said himself in an interview, Kyle Larson, this was, like 2 weeks ago that, he was excited about and all that, but he's like, I'm really glad I'm taking the extra year because you got to have all your I's dotted and your T's crossed if you want to go out there and be successful. And I just don't think that opportunity is out there for Kyle Busch right now.
Did you see when they fitted Larson for the seat? Did you see what he got there? They had a watermelon sitting in his seat.
The McLaren guys watch also.
Chastain is a very popular guy these days, isn't he? He just he can't get out of his own way. He's his own worst enemy sometimes, but we know what a hell of a driver he is. He just keeps running into stuff. You got to cut that out. You're gonna piss some people off worse than you can. And imagine this, and when Rick Hendrick himself addresses the situation, it's kind of serious, don't you? So, poor guy, he's so misunderstood.
Real quick, we got to send a shout out to a listener from Princeton, Wisconsin. His name is Nick. Brian and I met him yesterday at the drag races. They sat behind us, him and his family, and he did call. He's going to try to be on the program down there, and it didn't work out to get him on. But we did find his name, Brian. It was Nick, and we want to say, hey, Nick from Princeton. It was fun watching.
What are the odds? You sit down at a drag race, a thing we've never been to before, and amongst all the noise, someone's announcing our names, and we're like, who is this behind me?
Yeah. How do they recognize you? Maybe you have a TV career going that I don't know about. It's interesting. Hey, Kenny Wallace is in Wisconsin right now. One of the coolest people you'll ever meet in your life. Kenny and Kim they're spending a little time in Trickle country. Of course, it was the 10-year anniversary of the death of Dick Trickle here a week or two ago. And Kenny and Kim went up to the Trickle Memorial in Rudolph, Wisconsin, and they spent the night last night with some friends in Wisconsin Rapids. So, interestingly, it's pretty cool that Kenny's. You said you talked to him recently, and he's cut his schedule pretty far back, right, Brian?
Yeah, I talked to him when we were at Lincoln last Wednesday before. He was racing down there, and asked him about what his racing plans was, and he's really downsized. He's got a really small trailer on a pickup truck now, and he's just trying to retire. He laughed and says, I doubt I'll be ever able to do that, but he doesn't have any plans to race up here this year. He did mention that he was going to be up here at the Trickle Memorial, and I asked him about 141 a couple years ago. He's up there, and he says, nah, I don't think I'll be doing that. So unfortunately, we won't be able to see him race in the state of Wisconsin this year.
All right. Briefly, quickly, I got Logano. Who you got, Dano?
Kyle Busch.
Okay. And Brian?
Kyle Larson.
All right. We'll ask Ed during the week, and we'll post that. Hey, thanks for being here. And remember, real race cars have doors, even if they do climb in through the windows. Let's Talk NASCAR is produced, directed, and engineered by our own dangerous Dan Margetta. We appreciate you tuning into the program, and we'll see you at Slinger Speedway this afternoon.
This program has come to you live from multiple locations via Skype. Any and all comments expressed on this show do not necessarily express the opinions of this station, its employees, or advertisers. Your comments are always welcome at mail@ltnradionetwork.com. Find us at facebook.com/LTN Radio Network. And thank you for your support since 1985. Tune in again next Sunday morning at 10 a.m. Central Time for the LTN Hour on the LTN Radio Network.
Outreach Community Health Centers is proud to provide accessible and affordable health care for the entire family, regardless of insurance status. They offer complete primary care for children and infants, immunizations including COVID-19 vaccinations, booster shots, on-site pharmacy, dental care, mental health and emotional support, and more. Further services include assistance with baby items such as clothing, formula, diapers, help with transportation, and locating housing and employment. For more information, visit ochc-milw.org.